All right. Well, we're going to talk about some Epic Universe news. So last week, as they have been doing periodically, I'd say every couple weeks, they reveal a new land, like one of the lands that's going to be in Epic Universe. And so we have already gotten Celestial Park. That was the first one. And we've also gotten How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk. And the next one they are doing is Super Nintendo World.
Listen. I just want to say, I know people are like, "Oh, that's cool." This is the land I'm looking the most forward to. I'm looking very forward to Epic Universe for a multitude of reasons, but I've been looking forward to Super Nintendo World ever since I heard about it.
Yes.
I grew up playing Nintendo my entire life. I love it. Yeah. So, and like, and this land's unique too, because like we already know what it looks like in other places.
Right.
So we can like I've already seen how it looks like you walk into a video game. So I'm just eagerly anticipating. But yes, I was very excited about this. And we'll go over some of the things they announced, but yes, very excited.
Yeah. And like Jared said, it's already a thing over in Hollywood and in Japan. So like we already know what it's going to look like. We already know the potential of it. We do know that when you first walk into Epic Universe, you're in Celestial Park. It is the first land on the left as you go around, correct? And this is going to be the biggest of what is Super Nintendo World. So they've got, like I said, they've got Hollywood, they've got Japan, and they're very small. They're very small.
Yeah, well, Hollywood is a very small park.
Right.
So it's definitely not very big there. In Japan, I'm not sure on the size of Japan, but I do know the one that they're building in Epic Universe is going to be the largest Super Nintendo World in the world. It's going to need to be because Hollywood ran into issues where they had to like limit people coming in,
right.
And it's still like a huge draw there. But Hollywood's not very big at all. Like when you see people go through POVs of that on vlogs, you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's small. But the one in Orlando will be very big.
Yeah. So let's talk about the land. So basically, it's in two sections. So we've got the regular Super Nintendo Land. So we're in Super Nintendo World. We've got Super Nintendo Land. And we also have Donkey Kong Country, which the Hollywood one does not have, correct?
Hollywood does not have the Donkey Kong extension.
Right.
Japan is building it currently.
Right.
So I think it did announce it just got delayed. But
okay.
The one in Orlando was supposed to be the first one, and then COVID happened. So I think Japan's will still open earlier.
Okay.
But the only thing I have to correct you on.
I'm sorry.
It's not Super Nintendo Land. It is the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh, I apologize.
So
I was going by what it was on the website.
Yes, now they may have that on the website.
Okay.
They're wrong.
Oh.
It is the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
you have Donkey Kong Country. So
Mushroom Kingdom.
Yes.
And Donkey Kong Country.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the Mushroom Kingdom is like where Princess Peach. If you've seen the Super Mario Brothers movie, that's the Mushroom Kingdom, like where Peach's castle is.
See,
and all
that makes more sense because
Yeah.
you're in world. You wouldn't want to say a land.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start in Mushroom Kingdom then. We're going to talk about the attractions. We're talking about meet and greets, dining, shopping, all of that stuff. And then
everything we know about Super Nintendo World, basically.
Yes. And then Jared has a little more insight than I do just because he does a lot of the construction updates on our YouTube channel. So he knows more about this than I do. But we'll start with talking about attractions. So the first one we're going to talk about is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
Yeah, this one isn't anything new. This one they have in Hollywood. They also have it in Japan. So this is a 3D/4D motion simulator. And yes, I know people are going to say, oh, Universal with another screen-based ride. True, but this is one of the very few that are going in Epic Universe. So I think that's something to note about the rides in general going in.
Yeah.
So what they say about this is on Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, you'll put on special goggles and steer through iconic courses alongside Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach. In this interactive ride, you'll collect digital coins and throw shells to try to defeat Team Bowser and win the Golden Cup. With multiple outcomes, it's a different experience each time you ride. So this whole ride is being based on Mario Kart. If you haven't played Mario Kart, which most of you probably have, this is based on the newest version of it, but Mario Kart is both a very fun game and a very frustratingly enraging game at times. If you've ever,
I remember that. Yeah.
I mean, you'll be in first place, and then here comes the blue shell, and you're just like, it just drives you crazy. But that's what this ride is based on. So it's trying to simulate like a real life version of being in Mario Kart.
Yes, and I have seen footage of what they have shown, like in Japan and in Hollywood. And from what I understand, when you're not wearing like the special goggles or what help you see like certain like graphics, like you take them off, you can't see them.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it looks
it's not
really
like a
interesting.
3D glass. Yeah, it's like an overlay. It's almost like what do they call like the there's a term for it, but you put on goggles that overlay information of what you're looking at. Sort of what,
Yeah.
there's a term for it, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's like that. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds really cool. It looks really cool, and I'm excited for that one.
Honestly, I am excited I'm more excited for the castle and all the stuff inside of it more. The ride itself, I've heard and from what I've seen, seems very like it's okay. Like I'm not expecting to be blown away by this ride.
Is it more like family friendly?
For
like
sure,
for
sure. It's just one of those things. Like I will go into it with like moderate expectations. I'm not, but I think. And we'll talk about more the Donkey Kong side. That's where I actually have a lot of high expectations. This one, I'm probably just like, okay, I'm really cool to go into Bowser's Castle, all the Easter eggs in there, everything else. But, this one will be, I think this will be like a moderate level, like mid-high level anticipation type ride.
Okay. Well, speaking of what you said about Easter eggs, let's see where the next attraction. Let's talk about Yoshi's Adventure.
Yes. So this is, again, another ride that they have in Hollywood and in Japan. So this is a very kid-friendly ride.
It's very slow.
It's very slow. Excuse me.
So that's what I feel like.
Yeah. So what they say about this is take a ride with Yoshis and search for the glowing eggs in this enchanting family-friendly attraction. On Yoshi's Adventure, you'll weave your way through iconic Mushroom Kingdom landscapes, encountering many familiar characters and spotting hidden colored eggs along your journey. So this is the one where it wraps around kind of the entire land. Well, not the entire land, but part of the land where you'll see them go down. Very slow moving, very kid friendly, not exciting. I mean, honestly, this is the one where, it's for very little kids. It's not going to be like exciting or thrilling, but again, it is very like Nintendo themed and everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure our kids will love it.
I'm not looking like super forward to this one. I mean, it'll be cool, but it's more or less cool. You do see them like going around all the time. So it's part of the ambiance of the land of making it seem like a real life video game with lots of kinetic movement and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about meet and greets here.
Yes. So this is a part where, as Universal continues to develop, I think their meet and greet repertoire, if you will. That's a big word.
Repertoire.
There we go. I used it correctly. I think Nintendo characters will be where this starts maybe getting kind of big for them, so they're going to have Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad, and they do speak.
They do speak.
And this is what they also have in the other lands. There are rumors, and I've heard rumors that there will be also, you have, one thing that's cool about Nintendo is you have princesses built into the whole thing. So you've got like Daisy,
Princess Peach,
Rosalita, Princess Peach. So there could be some more characters that they bring out as time goes on. But yes, right with these. Now, the one thing I do I wonder about, now this goes into the construction of it. The Princess Peach's castle in Epic Universe has underneath it this area that the other castles don't.
Okay.
So initially, I had heard that was going to be there for meet and greets, and then it was scrapped. But as construction has gone on, there's something there. I'm wondering if they do the meet and greets underneath the castle. Okay. It looks like there'd be enough room because if you look, like in Hollywood's and Japan's, they do the meet and greets kind of in the middle of the land, which does create an issue with lines and everything like that. So if they did the meet and greets here, it might make a little bit more sense, perhaps. I don't know. So I don't know where the meet and greets will be. I'm wondering what they do with that little section underneath the castle. So they could be down there. But there will be meet and greets here. I don't know. I'm not really sure as to the frequency they do them in the other parks right now. But whatever they do there, I'm sure would be pretty same over here at Epic Universe.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's talk about dining. So one of the things that they did mention, now you had talked about them setting up like carts and stuff around the lands.
There's going to be a lot of quick service, I would call them kiosks.
Okay.
They haven't really said the names of them. They're going to have a few in Mushroom Kingdom. They're going to have some in Donkey Kong Country as well. So I'm not sure the name of those. Those would be like snacks, like Ronto Roasters type things, like you've seen over in Galaxy's Edge, where it's like a very specific type of food you could get.
Okay,
stuff like that.
Like two items and that's it, or
probably something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the one established permanent dining area is Toadstool Cafe, and that is a quick service.
Yeah, the one restaurant that people always talk about when they go to Super Nintendo World is Toadstool Cafe. So if you've ever seen people take photos of stuff for food and everything, this is probably where it's at. So this is a quick service restaurant. What they say on the website about it is fuel up at Toadstool Cafe, where you can watch Chef Toad cooking up some of his favorite recipes and see playful scenes of the Mushroom Kingdom through the windows. Enjoy tasty creations prepared daily, including soups, salads, and sandwiches, as well as delicious entrees and delectable desserts. So that the only other thing I was going to mention, I don't think it's Nintendo themed, but and this is kind of a weird thing about the way this park is set up. So outside of Super Nintendo World, you have a Nintendo store.
Okay.
I suppose it's for if the land is closed for whatever reason, you could still get Nintendo themed merchandise. Next to the store is a place called Pizza Moon. Now, that doesn't sound Nintendo themed.
I don't think
probably
it is.
isn't, but given it's like right next to and it's right outside the land and it's right next to a Nintendo themed store, that is there. But there's no word on. I don't think that's probably Nintendo themed, but I just want to mention that is there. But the main one here being Toadstool Cafe.
Yeah. This
is the one where out in Hollywood, in Japan, if you want to eat here, like you have to get a spot early because it's hard to get. I mean, if you go first thing in the morning, you may not get a spot until like in the evening time.
Gotcha.
So very popular, Nintendo theme. I mean, you got like your, Princess Peach themed foods, Mario themed foods, Toadstool themed foods, like everything. Everything's very themed and
themed foods. You say
very themed foods. Yeah. So I mean, if you think of like Minions Cafe, it's basically the exact same concept of very highly, again, themed foods that you eat at in the restaurant like this. So it's very popular, and I anticipate it will be very popular here. This is the biggest one as well. So I think they're trying to, I can't remember by how much, but I know it is the biggest one, but I'm sure it will still be very hard to get a reservation here.
Oh, yeah. Well, shopping wise, there's really not much inside the land. And we know there's a Mario Motors gift shop.
Oh, there's actually a lot inside the land.
But that's like the only permanent one, right?
No, they mentioned.
They didn't say anything else about it. That's why I'm saying
Okay, they said Mario Motors gift shop, which I think is the exit to the Mario Kart ride, but you've got the 1-Up Factory, which is a store in there.
They didn't mention that.
I'm sure they'll have something on the Donkey Kong side as well.
Right.
Plus, they got the store outside the land that we just mentioned, so they've got plenty of places for you to buy merchandise in here.
Well, they didn't say anything.
I know. There's a lot of stuff they didn't.
Just going by what they didn't say. I know. Okay, so before we go into Donkey Kong Country, actually, let's go to that first. Let's talk about Donkey Kong Country real quick. Besides like the some of the food places that might be spread around there, maybe I don't know if we'll meet Donkey Kong. I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna meet.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have. I mean, you're gonna have Donkey Kong. I'm sure Diddy Kong. Probably Cranky. Maybe you will have Funky Kong, which his plane is there. He's the one that flies, I believe. So you'll have some meet and greets with the Donkey Kong characters as well.
Well, let's talk about the attraction that'll be there because this has me quite excited.
This is the one I'm probably the most excited for out of any of the rides in Epic Universe because this one looks amazing. So this one is called Minecart Madness. So the whole land here is called Donkey Kong Country, which is based off of the Donkey Kong Country video game. If you haven't played it, you should.
Yes.
It's a great game. And in that game, you have a minecart level that is notoriously hard.
I have to talk about this real quick. So I didn't play many video games as a kid. I played Super Nintendo World. I played or Super Nintendo 3 or whatever it was a lot.
Wait, you played what?
Super Nintendo, I think it was 3.
You mean Super Mario?
Yes.
Oh, you said Super Nintendo. I was like, wait. Sorry,
Super Mario.
There was a Super Nintendo
3.
system.
Sorry.
Okay.
I played it on the old system, like the NES or whatever.
Probably, yeah. You had regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and then you had 64.
Yes, for real. I had Super Mario 3. That was the one I played the most, and then I played Donkey Kong, and I played this minecart game over and over and over again because I just couldn't get over the place where it jumps the track. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Cat-like reflexes.
I know. I needed Jared there when I was, 10 years old, 11 years old to help me. But anyway,
I would have helped.
So it is. I'm very excited for this because I feel like it's part of my childhood.
Yeah, I mean that's part of video games. It's very frustrating levels. That this was one like once you figured out the mechanisms, you could get it. Like I think I replayed this not that long ago, and I was like, oh okay, I remembered how to do it. But yeah. Notoriously was difficult because you jump gaps in the track, and then you got to try and jump over certain obstacles and things like that. So the main ride in this land is called Kart Madness, and the basically it's a family roller coaster. Minimum height on here is going to be 36 inches. But the description of this is. It's up to you to help Donkey Kong protect the golden banana on Minecart Madness. Enter the majestic golden temple, board your minecart, and take off in this thrilling family coaster. Speeding through the mine, you'll appear to jump across gaps in the track and perform other eye-popping feats from the Donkey Kong Country video game. Now, the reason that this is going to be so unique is the way in which this coaster works. So it's really cool because in the game you literally jump gaps. Well, you can't really do that on a roller coaster. Well, the way that this ride is set up is the whole coaster has a side track, and you're actually sitting in a minecart with this arm off of the side track, and you sit on top. So on top, it looks like rickety old tracks, like in the video game, and some of them have gaps missing, you're gonna have to jump stuff. There's stuff in the way, so you're never not connected because you have this sidetrack going. But given that you're over the top of it, it's going to feel like you're jumping gaps in the track.
Yeah.
But you never actually lose contact with that sidetrack. So it's gonna do things like shoot you out of a barrel. Like if you ever play Donkey Kong, that's how you start most levels. You're gonna go like all sorts of little things like that. So this looks awesome. I've been.
Oh my gosh.
The construction progress on this is cool, and just seeing like the 3D animation and stuff like that. Like and it looks very well themed. It seems like it'll probably be a pretty the length of it I think is pretty good. So I don't think it's like too short or too long and things like that. But it looks awesome. There's a part where you go like over water, in and out of the temple. So it goes inside and outside. So this one looks awesome.
Very excited for this one. Very, very, very excited. Okay, let's go back and let's talk about power-up bands. So power-up bands are available to purchase. They're not included with being in Super Nintendo World. You have to buy this separately. But it says these are used to collect digital coins and keys throughout the land, Donkey Kong Country and Mushroom Kingdom. So you have to complete these challenges to earn a key. And why don't you talk about the challenges that they have?
Okay, so and if you're wondering, power-up bands, these are going to be very much like a Magic Band.
Yeah.
But specifically for Super Nintendo World, that will let you interact with certain elements inside the land, like power-up blocks. In the Donkey Kong side, you'll have different things like that. So each one of these things, you're going to have, first one here we have Goomba Crazy Crank. It says, turn the crank to make the ground spin fast enough to make a Goomba fall backwards, winning you a key. Then you have the Piranha Plant Nap Mishap. Run back and forth, tapping multiple alarm clocks to put the huge Piranha Plant back to sleep. Then you have the Koopa Troopa Power Punch. Hit a power block, or a POW block, with perfect timing to send a Koopa shell up the pipe and knock over the Koopa Troopa. Bob-omb Kaboom Room. It says, gather fragments of a key from around the room and assemble them before the giant bomb goes kaboom. Those are the walking bombs, by the way, from the game.
Thank you.
And then you have the Thwomp Panel Panic, which the Thwomps are those giant stone guys that have them angry faces in the levels that would drop down.
Yes.
That's a Thwomp. It says, are you fast enough trying to flip every tile on the wall to be the same color and win a digital key? So collect at least 3 keys from the challenges, and you'll be able to unlock the Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown. And that's like sort of like the final thing that you do here. So essentially, it's almost like a fourth attraction with these power-up bands. It allows you can also go up to the blocks and hit them like Mario, and go like make the coin noise and stuff like that. So yeah,
Jared's gonna do that a bunch.
I'm gonna do it like constantly. It also allows you to keep track of your score, like when you're playing Mario Kart, and the stuff like that.
Okay, so it's interactive.
It'll track what. Okay. Yeah, it's supposedly. And I believe that because that happens in Hollywood, is you're gonna collect coins. Like you do certain things, you collect coins, and you can use the coins for. I don't know what you can use them for, but you can collect coins and then use them in the land.
Okay.
I remember other theme parks talking about doing the same thing, and they haven't done it before. But they have and are doing this in Super Nintendo World. So I'm very excited to see how that can work out and all the things you can do.
Me as well as I am. But so they have themed bands that you can choose from. You can choose from Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, Princess Daisy, Yoshi Egg, Donkey Kong, and Diddy Kong.
Yes. And we were talking which one probably would want to get. I'm almost like, I love Mario, but I'm almost leaning toward maybe getting like a Donkey Kong one. But
well, they don't have the Hollywood Studios in Hollywood.
that would be where it is, yeah.
I meant Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Yes.
They don't have the Donkey Kong or the Diddy Kong one, obviously. They just have the first 6 that I mentioned. So these would be kind of unique to Epic Universe, at least.
Now, the price of these, they used to be, I think when they first came out with these, they were $35. As of now, they're around $42. So whenever Epic Universe opens, who knows? It could be $50, but it'll be.
Shell out some bucks,
It's
Jared.
a little extra. And it's like a little slap bracelet type thing, too.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool how it works. But yeah.
It'll be exciting. I'm sure all 4 of us will be getting a band.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's most of the stuff that they talked about. I mean, like, as far as what we knew about the land going into this, we kind of already knew what it's going to look like, and it's kind of hard to break down everything that we've just seen on video and stuff. Yeah, it's like we know about the attractions now, we know about the food, we know about the meet and greets, the power bands, all that stuff. So more details will be coming, but that is the 3rd land that we have learned about so far.
Yeah, this is one that, again, there's 2 existing lands that they're not identical, but they're very, very, very close in terms of like layouts like that. So yeah, I mean, they didn't announce anything that I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Like, I had been presuming that Donkey Kong Country was the name of it and Minecart Madness was the name of it, because not only did it make sense from the video games, but that's Japan's as well.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
A lot of this stuff, sometimes you get some name differences, and when you go to like different countries and things like that. But nothing they announced was anything we didn't know, but I'm still looking forward to it. And
absolutely,
the more progress that goes on, I just, the only difference I will say that compared to the other lands is entering this land. So you go through a warp pipe, which is cool because you go through there.
Oh, yeah.
But here in Epic Universe, you actually go up an escalator so the way you go into this land is you go up an escalator, and then you are in Peach's Castle. You walk out of Peach's Castle into Mushroom Kingdom. So, and then you go, like, it's a multi-level land, by the way. So if you're not familiar with Super Nintendo World, you can go upstairs and downstairs. So there's a lot of up and down stuff.
A lot of levels.
There's also a lot of stuff inside the buildings you can explore, like little Easter eggs all over the place. So I honestly, as much as I do want to ride the rides, which, that's cool, but I want to explore and just see all the stuff.
If you see a man standing in the middle of the land with his mouth open, just looking around, that's Jared Lee.
I don't think I'll be the only one.
This is so cool.
I mean, it legitimately,
at least for like about 15 minutes.
If you haven't seen footage of this, you can go to YouTube and look for it, like of just entering, like, say, Super Nintendo World. It looks like you have walked into a real life video game. It really does.
And that is absolutely the point, and that's why this is going to be so amazing.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah. I am curious about the Donkey Kong one. I mean, we haven't seen it yet. So I am curious as to, like, we've seen 3D mock-ups of it, like how much stuff's in there, but it's not a huge area. The main part of that does take up is the ride. But I love Donkey Kong too. So
same.
Looking very much forward to it.
Same.